Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to my WWE 205 live review for February 7th, 2017. And, um, this is going to be officially it. I'll officially be almost caught up with, all of wrestling from last week. And then, I'm going to start watching wrestling from this week. So let's just get, started with this. So we had Corey Graves, Mauro Ranallo, and Austin Aries on commentary for this show. I thought, Mauro Ranallo and Austin Aries were absolutely fantastic. I thought Corey Graves was good too, but Ranallo and Aries had a lot of really funny lines, so I thought they were great. And the first match was a fatal five-way qualifying match. Ariya Daivari versus Mustafa Ali. So let me explain what's going on with this match. So Tony Nese apparently got injured during that whole brawl with everybody in the cruiserweights. So he ended up getting injured, so they needed to fill in a new spot. So I like that they put this match up here. It makes the win, makes the match matter, makes the win matter. And, it made sense. Mustafa Ali, they've been kind of pushing lately. And Ariya Daivari was recently just in a feud with Jack Gallagher, so I'm fine with it. And, they overall had a good, solid matchup. There was a funny spot where Ariya Daivari goes for the frog splash and he misses. And Mauro Ranallo says on commentary, and he got no splash. And Austin Aries is like, no splash. And when I was like, just work with me, Austin. So I thought Aries and Ranallo really did a great job bouncing back off each other. But then eventually Mustafa Ali hits a suicide dive on the outside. Well, like torpe suicido on the outside. And then eventually he hits a Roman neckbreaker and the inverted 450 for the win. And he ends up advancing into the fatal five-way, which I was fine with this just because of the fact that, he's kind of the one that's been picking up a lot of victories, and he's the one that's really being pushed, so why not? Kind of sucks for Tony Nese that he got injured, but whatever. And then they plays a video package for Grand Metalik, announcing that he's going to be debuting next week, which is tonight's episode of 205 Live. Then we had the next match. It was Lince Dorado versus the Brian Kendrick. And the Brian Kendrick talks about how he likes to look at himself as the gatekeeper of the Cruiserweight division. He likes to take people under the win or help old wash-ups get back to where they once were. And he says that he sees something in Akira Tozawa. And he says that Akira Tozawa could be the next protege for the Brian Kendrick. So Lince Dorado and the Brian Kendrick have the match. I thought they had a solid match. Lince Dorado hits a handstand stunner, a handspring stunner, and then he goes for the crossbody. Kendrick counters into a roll-up, and then eventually Kendrick gets him into the captain's hook and makes Lince Dorado tap out for the victory, and Kendrick goes over. And then afterwards, Austin Aries gets in the ring to interview him, and the Brian Kendrick pretty much says the same thing. He said that he sees something in Akira Tozawa that he's never seen before, and he says that together they could be unstoppable. So he wants Akira Tozawa to come out, so we're waiting for him to come out. But instead, Tajiri's music plays. He actually returned here, and Kendrick's waiting for him, and Tajiri pops up behind him and spits screen mist into the face of the Brian Kendrick. I thought this was awesome. I thought the match between the Brian Kendrick and Lince Dorado was good, and Tajiri returning, I totally didn't see coming. I thought that was awesome. And then Neville gets interviewed, and he says that that whoever wins the Fatal 5-Way tonight doesn't matter. All they doing is earning themselves a chance to face the King just to be put down. And he cuts promos on everybody else, is saying that he's going to crush TJ Perkins' dreams again. He says that Jack Gallagher is making a mockery of England. He says that Noam Dog isn't going to steal his girlfriend because he barely just stole Cedric Alexander's girlfriend. And he says that Cedric Alexander this isn't his time. And Mustafa Ali, he says that he reminds him of a younger version of himself. So I thought Neville was great here. And then we had the Fatal 5-Way elimination match where the winner becomes the #1 contender to the Cruiserweight Championship. Jack Gallagher versus Noam Dar versus Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali versus TJ Perkins. I thought this was a really good Fatal 5-Way match. And everybody takes a shot at Noam Dar, and as this is happening, Mo Manalo on commentary thinks this is just a regular Fatal 5 where it's not an elimination. The last guy, where the first guy gets a pinfall. So then Aries is like, no, Mo, it's the last guy that gets a pinfall. And then he says, so the last man standing was the matchup. And then Aries, being a dick, says, no, this isn't a last man standing match. It's just a regular Fatal 5-way match. So I thought that was awesome. And then TJ Perkins and Cedric Alexander have a little bit of an exchange, and everybody hits dives on each other. Noam Dar attacks everybody in the match, really dominates the matchup for a little bit, and then eventually he starts showboating, and then Cedric Alexander comes up from behind and hits the lumbar check on him and eliminates him. And Cedric Alexander goes on fire. He starts taking everybody out. He's about to go off the top rope, but then Noam Dar comes up and hangs him up on balls first on the top rope, which means he just cost him a chance at the title. And afterwards, TJ Perkins hits a Dead Nation kick on Cedric Alexander and eliminates him. So then it's down to Mustafa Ali, TJ Perkins, and Jack Gallagher. And TJ Perkins eliminates Jack Gallagher with a roll-up, I think. I really forget how he got eliminated. So then it's down to Jack Gallagher and TJ Perkins. And TJ Perkins starts working over the knee of Jack Gallagher. He gets him into the knee bar. Jack Gallagher gets to the ropes. And TJ Perkins hits the Dead Nation kick. And Gallagher instinctively hits the headbutt to the ribs. And then eventually he hits the run and drop kick on Perkins for the win. And he becomes the #1 contender to the Cruiserweight title at Fastlane. And then afterwards, Never comes out and they have a face-off. And then that was it. I thought this was a great idea to put Jack Gallagher over. I really, Cedric Alexander would have been nice to see him win, but you do continue the feud between Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander, which I don't like that feud, but lately it hasn't been as bad. At least it's just between them. It's not between Alicia Fox anymore, which is probably going to change. TJ Perkins, I think you could have had him win. But, I don't really think you're going to get the best utilization of the match. Mustafa Ali still isn't ready for that spot yet. But Jack Gallagher is ready for this type of spot. You can do so much stuff with a Jack Gallagher Neville storyline with both of them being from England and Jack Gallagher having the gentleman's gimmick and Neville having this gimmick, where he's malicious and he destroys people. I think this could be a really good program between Neville and Jack Gallagher, and I actually would like to see what happens with it. And, Jack Gallagher's building momentum right now, so I really like it. So I really want to see this match at Fastlane. I actually wanted to see it at WrestleMania, but, we're going to get it at Fastlane. Rich Swann's injury kind of put that on the back burner, but overall, I thought this was a really good episode of 205 Live. I pretty much liked everything on this show. I liked the Aria Devara Mustafa Ali match, mainly because the match mattered and the win mattered. I liked Lindsay Dorado versus Kendrick, and the return of Tajiri was really cool. And I liked the Fatal 5-Way match. So overall, I thought this was a good episode of 205 Live. If I have to grade it, I'll grade it a 7 out of 10.